And welcome to game night. It's back. We took a detour last week because of the silly Supreme Court decision, but I said no. We've got to have some fun because there's just too much, too much going on where we can't just relax for maybe an hour and a half, depending on how this new game goes. So I'm joined by Marlon. Say hello, Marlon.
Hello. And don't worry about feeling bad. I'll bring that all back Sunday.
And look, I'm in a positive mood. I had today off, drove out of town, came back, totally sleepy. Still can't drive out of town without falling asleep, but that's okay. I made it back. Everything's fine. So before we get started, I want to pay all of my bills here. Um, September the 3rd, we are sponsoring a scavenger hunt. I still have 44 tickets left, so I'm trying to sell them. So go to tracymedia.com /r hyphen events. The description should be in the description section. Also, we're having on September the 24th a Indie the Duopoly workshop / Zoom conference. Those tickets are $30. You can also find those at www.tracymediallc.com /r hyphen events. Please support me on Patreon. I'm still stuck at 6. I need to be to 10 so I can launch this new show. Please, I want to get to 10. 10, at least 10. Like this page, subscribe. Since this is a little live, you can always come back, watch it later, and comment then. Marlon, how are you doing?
I'm sleepy, but it's not the sleep that I worked hard because I didn't today. I mean, I literally did four things all day. But just remember, don't ever eat chicken fettuccine alfredo before a show because
Oh, wow.
pasta
Hey,
will put you out. And I'm just like, uh, how much do I like Tracy? Should
how
I
much do
go?
you like me?
How much do I like Tracy? Should I go?
You're
Should I
using the
stay
word
down?
like. That's really bothering me.
How much do I love Tracy? Maybe
There
I
you
need to
go.
take a nap.
Honey.
I'm thinking, should I take a nap? Nah, let me go ahead. Because honestly, um, ladies and gentlemen, we have not had a regular schedule in a while now. Um, it's been a while. For mental stress, I try to tell people just unplug. And by the way, do not think that I'm not going to pick on Theas when he comes on here for somebody who went Wednesday and said I'm unplugging, and it lasted a grand total of 48 hours. But we're coming back. We'll be back.
Yeah, I just think with all this stuff happening, we just need a good laugh. And I'm trying to stall until Thieves gets here because it's impossible to play this game without another person. I'm trying to think of stuff to talk about.
Well,
Like,
you just play what the game is.
so the game is called, well, wait a minute, first announcement. I am looking for suggestions, and I want you to email them to tracymediallc@gmail.com. It does not matter how outrageous this suggestion is, just email me. I might be open to it. Well, wait a minute. No KKK is great. Don't do that to me because I'll hurt your feelings.
Oh, you don't want to say any suggestion though.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, wait a minute. Let me backtrack that. Don't if you pro life, we can have a discussion, but we gonna probably agree to disagree. Um, the pro Second Amendment people, y'all don't bother. Don't bother. I don't like guns. I don't own guns. I have no use for them. So whatever you got to say to me, hit it to the left. But that's my email. So I do want you to email me some of your critiques too, because I definitely have room to improve. Definitely have room to improve. So that's my email, and I'll not try to cry if you criticize, but that's okay. I'll grow. So, um, the game that we're gonna play tonight is called "Is This Show Real?" It is basically where I describe a show, and all you have to do is tell me whether that show is real or whether that show was real, because I'm going definitely 80s and 90s today, or am I completely making it up?
You know what? You should have went 60s and 70s.
No, I picked the 80s because
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. There's some shows in the 60s and 70s that was not only, oh my God, who thought this up, but oh my God, who greenlight this to actually do it. I mean, there's some shows that's just like, what was this? What my mother's the car or something
My
like that.
Mother the Car with
It
the
was
guy who played
like,
Herman
what?
Munster and the guy who played Grandpa on the Munsters are both in that show. My Mother the Car. And then, no, wait a minute, that's not right. They was on Car 54, Where Are You? That was with Dick Van Dyke's brother. Oh, what Dick Van Dyke's brother's name? The other Van Dyke.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
because I saw he was on Coach for a long time.
Yes. And I'm
Jerry.
like,
Jerry.
yeah. Who sit there and thought, so the mother dies?
Oh, I have no idea what the.
Oh yeah, I know the whole
I just
premise.
said about the title of it.
I've watched episodes of this show because I couldn't believe this was real. I'm like, yeah, y'all got to be joking.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, the mother dies, and her spirit, like this is even possible, goes into whatever car they was driving, and she gives advice to him or something like that. I'm like, who sat there and thought that? Why would somebody write a script like that? Oh, you're actually looking it up. I'm like,
so. He was shopping for a car, to used car, and line a station wagon to serve for a second car. He hears the car call his name in a woman's voice. The car turns out to be the reincarnation of his deceased mother, Gladys.
and you know her name would be Gladys. Her name would absolutely be Gladys.
She talks to only, his last name in the show is Crabtree. She only talks to Crabtree through the car radio. The down light flashes in synchronization of his mother's voice. In an effect to get his family to accept the old tired car, Crabtree brings it to custom body shop for a full restoration. The car is converted by a fictional collector named Captain Whatever, but Crabtree purchased and restored the car. I'm like tracing that. I can't.
You just like wait a minute. What was you smoking? Drinking?
You have to be smoking.
You could not have been sober when you sat there and thought, you know what? I'm gonna name the car Gladys. That's the perfect name, Gladys.
Mother the car. How long did this season stay on?
One season. It couldn't have stayed on more than 2.
One season. With 10 episodes. No? Wow. One season, but it had 30 episodes.
How you gonna have
30 episodes?
And what was that other show in the 60s that was so? Nope, that was 70s. The show Isis, where she was.
Because they made Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, all you comic book fans out there. Don't even try to read the backstory of Isis. It has so much stuff in it that you don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Yep, and we delayed long enough for Theus to get here and we can play this game.
Do I not need these headphones?
No.
You do not need the headphones unless you just want to wear them.
If you want to look like a DJ. DJ, Complex Mind.
I think I'm going to start off easy just so y'all can feel good. So the game, Theus, is called Is This Show Real? I describe a show, and all you have to do is tell me, was the show real or was the show fake? Am I just totally making it up? Here's a couple other caveats. You cannot use Google. You can't, don't be trying to get on your computer, be like, okay, I'm gonna type it. No. I'm gonna take you out your word. Don't use Google, and you cannot ask each other for help. You can't ask to throw a clue.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Theus.
Real or fake?
Real or fake. But you can't use Google and you can't ask Marlon for help, and I won't give any clues.
Can I use Bing?
You can't use the internet to find your answers.
Okay.
No internet. So Marlon, you're gonna go first.
Okay.
So this show saw an engineer that made a robot. It looked exactly like a little girl. But instead of holding a press conference and saying, hey, look what I've done, he decides to masquerade her as his daughter. Is that show real or fake?
It was real and real stupid.
Can you name the show?
Not without Bing. What was the name of that show?
So Ma Wonder stayed on for 4 years.
I actually enjoyed that show.
That was
That's
the stupidest show because the girl talked like a robot through the whole
She
show.
talked like this the whole time, and she wore that red dress with the white apron, and nobody noticed that she talked like this the whole time.
That was part of the gag. I mean,
Yeah,
talking to a guy who loved watching Alf.
And nobody questioned it.
Yeah, didn't nobody ever like yo.
Why are you talking like that, little girl? What is wrong with you? No, they just
that would be rude. That's rude. If a person has a speech impediment, it is not on you.
It's not rude to ask, hey, little girl, why are you wearing the same red dress with the little white apron on it?
That is also rude. That's her favorite outfit, and her family is letting her have that because she may have a developmental issue, which also speaks to her speech impediment. And so she likes to wear her outfit.
She wore the same outfit every episode.
I'm gonna be rude then, because I'm gonna sit there.
Yeah, I'm sure gonna be like, look, girl, why your mama
are you talking like a robot
every time?
That's rude.
Okay.
Jamie's clothes changed. Jamie changed clothes every episode. Nope. Let's just put her in a red dress.
And they should have called Child Protective Services if that's the concern. But what I'm saying is, if the child has a developmental issue and they might act out or have whatever attachment to that outfit, you just get them a bunch of that outfit and you work with it.
Yes, she was a robot. How did she have these type of psychological developments that you were talking about? She's a robot.
Who at that time would have ever expected a humanoid robot, aka android? Nobody. That was part of the gag.
And the funny thing about it is, you really realize that you don't painted yourself into a corner, even though I know they was gonna find a way out of it though. So 20 years from now, either A, you still look like a little girl wearing the same dress and still talking like a robot. Everybody else that you grew up with, the college, that got married, that had kids, you still live with your parents because you never grew up. Now, that's the storyline issue. Let's look at the reality issue. And the reality issue is this was a real person who eventually will grow up. And how you going to explain to your audience, how did you make your robot look older? Because he's an engineer. he knows he'll just keep building her bigger and bigger every year.
No, she's an advanced design that is
her
made.
Own room. She didn't even have her own room. They put her in the little cupboard in the
She didn't need
parents'
a room. She was an android.
They was trying to have intimate relationships, and she's in the dang on cupboard.
She's an android.
Exactly. So how does she have all these psychological issues that you're talking about if she's a robot?
I'm talking about to the outside world.
You ever met?
From the outside to the outside world, I was explaining how she could be perceived as a regular child. Inside that house, they know she's an android.
That was the most emotional robot I ever met in my life.
And then
the programming wasn't perfect.
This show really, she just did this. Nobody's gonna say nobody says, you know what, that girl.
Y'all some rude folks. I hope you be around a child who's had a developmental issue, and you be like, why your child talk like that?
I sure would. I'd be like, maybe you should get your child some therapy services.
I would curse you, slam out right there.
Well, you ready to curse me out?
We're gonna go to war. You ain't gonna sit there and talk about my child right in front of my child. No, you not.
No, I make sure the child is in a different room. I wouldn't be that rude.
Okay, well then I just curse you out for saying something about my child to me.
Sometimes children need help that parents can't give them.
Yeah, but are you offering that or are you offering criticism? That was criticism.
No, I would say, hey, I know a speech therapist because your daughter, she talks like this, and that is not normal.
I will find one, dear Thea, because Dad, she sound like a robot.
Sound like a damn huh? What? So
and then you find out you're wrong.
And it
never was my job to have to convince you that my child was real to begin with.
Robot. She sounds like a robot.
And then, okay, so we're getting to the next show. So this one is for Theus. If Theus doesn't get this, this is over with. This is really over with. So, 2 African-American gentlemen decide to travel in space in the 26th century. Is that show real or is that show fake?
Oh, that's real. That's Homeboys in Outer Space.
Yeah, and he named it.
I don't think I ever watched that, but
okay. Please don't say that's a good show. Don't say that's a good show.
I
don't remember it, but I remember the title. I remember that title.
Okay, so it's
who was on it?
Flex and the guy from a different world.
Yeah, Flex would take any job out around that time. So yeah.
Flex was trying to find somewhere to land.
Yeah.
Before he had the show with Tyler Pratt or Kyla Pratt. I can't remember her right name.
101. Oh my god.
Yeah, 101. That show was actually not bad. It was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, that show wasn't bad. Okay, so Marlon scores tied 1-1. Next show is for you. I think you're gonna get this. Almost. I think I have some doubt. So, a lady is hit by a trolley in 1925. She goes to heaven, but God sends her back to the 80s.
I'm gonna say true.
It is true. It's called
He took a shot in the dark. He don't know.
No, I just realized. Let me see. Do that sound stupid?
Yeah.
That
stupid. That was an absolutely true show, and I just lifted from its theme song, Down to Earth, and it ran 4 seasons also around the same time as Small World.
Oh, Down to Earth. I thought it was Touched by an Angel.
No, it wasn't Touched by an Angel.
They had like 4 or 5 different shows about angels floating around.
Michael, what's the name in it?
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
All them
2-1.
Dead people.
Wait,
he gets full credit. He ain't know the name of the show.
He gets a partial point, but it's 2.
Oh, you said true or false?
No, I said real or fake, but
I mean real.
But I jumped in with the name of the show when he said. I was like, "Yep, that's Down to Earth."
All I got to say is that anything that sounds stupid is probably the show.
Okay, this one is for you. Charlie Chan's children solve mysteries. Is this true or is this fake?
Oh no, that's true. That was a Disney special. It was a Disney show, and it was like not Jake the Dragon, but it was like Jake the Dragon, but it was Charlie Chan's Mysteries or something like that. Yep, that was real.
You are absolutely correct. It was a cartoon in
Hanna-Barbera. It's a cartoon.
I said it was a cartoon, but I was thinking about Jake the Dragon, which was kind of like a play off of that. But then I remember whatever his name is, he had his own show too. And it was based on his kids being little crime, investigator, problem solver people.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's all tied up again. Well, you're really getting them. So I got to come up with something that's really, really out there. Because I was like, oh, they won't get that. So, Marlon, a group of sinking cops mete out justice. Is that true? Is that a real show or a fake show?
A group of what kind of cops?
A group of singing cops.
Singing
like cops, like police officers?
Police officers, yes.
Oh, it's true.
Yes. And what show am I talking about? Yes, that brilliant show. It was like a Broadway musical every week. And it was terrible.
It was what?
When I tell you, I saw the title and I noped out of that station so quickly that I almost tore the channel changer off the TV. I just saw it was the 80s.
I'm glad I ain't get that one because I know that one.
It was the 80s and everything had to be music video type rock and everything. So
is that the era of like fame? I'm gonna live forever.
Yes,
you have to spruce it up to rock music type.
Yeah, and they literally had one song where they was in the courtroom and the guy's found guilty, and they get up and sing in gospel style. You guilty? You guilty? I'm like, oh yeah, cop rock.
Oh goodness, no. Oh no.
Yeah, this was one of those shows you knew it was gonna get canceled. You just knew you like this show ain't.
Oh,
mad it got past.
I'm really curious. How long did that show even come on?
1 year.
I'm offended and the show ain't even on.
I'm offended that the guy who created it was the same guy who created Hill Street Blues.
Well, you gotta get it. You gotta get it wrong before you get it right.
No, he created that after Hill Street Blues.
It had 11 episodes with
11. It wasn't that many. 13, they took that garbage off quick.
13 to 22 million to make that show.
Marlon's on the internet.
I already got it. So yeah.
Okay, Theus.
Well, Marlon, here's where you win, brother.
Uh-huh.
How do you know that? You don't know what show I'm thinking? Okay, so I'm gonna change the show up because you won't know that show. I'll save it for later. A group of 4 single women in New York City live and they balance their careers, love, and the trials of friendship. Is this show real? Or is
that's real because you just gave me the theme song to Living Single.
Yeah. I said I was gonna throw some.
Thank you, Tracy. Now give Marlon that one I wouldn't have got.
Marlon might get this one. Marlon might get this
one. She gonna give me, okay, a group of white friends live in New York.
No, I will not.
Some of them dated each other. And we didn't realize until the last season that there were black people that actually lived in New York.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
The hell is that?
That was Friends.
That was Friends.
But he said that they were black.
No, he said that I'm gonna give it a lie. Said they were white. Because I specifically said they're a group of black friends, and he's saying I'm gonna give him one is gonna be a specific group of white friends. Which I'm not.
No, a hard one would be, 4 4 elderly women in Miami come together to navigate the difficulties of post-retirement.
But they really weren't retired because Rose had a job, Sophia had several businesses, and Dorothy was a substitute teacher.
Yeah, none of those are full-on jobs. I'm sorry. Rose changed jobs.
Substitute teacher is a job. That's a job. You're substituting for the teacher.
Post-retirement employment.
No, I know people way younger than post-retirement are substitute teachers.
I substitute taught for a while. I did it to make sure I supplemented my income, but it was not my job.
We're going to go to the next one. Marlon, listen to this description. Fred's cousin takes over his junkyard empire. Is that real or is that fake?
That was real. It was real. Sweet Daddy was the cousin from Good Times. And it was something Palace or Kings or something like that. I know they completely changed the name.
Nope, they kept the name, but they kept part of the name. I'll give you a hint. They kept part of the name.
Sanford.
Probably just Sanford's.
That's exactly what it was. It was just called Sanford.
Okay.
But they got rid of Red Fox?
No, Red Fox was still in there. There was no Lamont. No, there was no Red Fox, no Lamont. I'm thinking of the other spinoff of Sanford and Son, where it was him, that big white guy named Bubba, Esther. Yeah, that one with no Lamont. It was just everybody but Lamont. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
Wasn't it still just Sanford and Son and Lamont was gone? No.
No, because he got a rich girlfriend by that.
He had a rich girlfriend that wasn't Don. Like totally different. Okay, so this starts to get a little harder. This Adolf Hitler and his wife live in an apartment in Germany, and their next door neighbors are Jewish. Is that real or is that fake?
I'm gonna have to go with fake because it'd be a little bit of a stretch to cast Hitler in a TV show.
That is absolutely wrong. It is real. It was called Hail Hitler. That is a real show. It absolutely was real. There are 10 episodes taped, but because of backlash, they only showed 1.
I imagine so.
That was absolutely a real show.
How you make a show called Hail Hitler?
Because
it was already his little crazy statement, Heil Hitler.
This is what kills me is if you see the episode, this dude, it literally was like Dick Van Dyke. He would go off to work. Hi, honey.
Like he had a job.
Going off to work.
Like he had a job and everything. But his next door neighbors were Jewish.
Yes.
Absolutely a real show.
That's some dark humor right there, man.
There was crackheads before there was crackheads.
You're not allowed to pick on the Jewish community. I mean, you can do that to us apparently, but you can't do that with them now.
Well, they did because
that's why they got canceled.
They didn't really emphasize the Jewish next door neighbors. It was really about Hitler and his. It
don't matter.
I know. I'm just giving you Hitler. Yes, you must watch Hail Hitler.
Nah, that's all right.
No doubt. That is an absolutely real show. So this is the first one that got something wrong.
Knew it was gonna happen.
Okay, Marlon. This is a fairly easy one. Denise Huxtable decides to attend fictitious Hillman University. Is this real?
Just hand it to him, Tracy.
Oh my goodness.
I said it was easy.
It's a different world.
You're giving names and everything.
Okay, so far, Marlon, we didn't ask for you to sing or nothing like that.
On the bright side, he ain't really singing. He's just kind of, crying on the microphone.
Yep.
Hey,
okay. This. I'll give you an easy one. I'll give you a real easy one. There were 4 men living all together, yet they were all alone. Is that show real or is that show fake?
4 men?
4 men living all together, yet they were all alone.
I'm gonna have to go with it's real. We'll go with that. It's real.
It is real. That is exactly right. And that is the theme song to the Brady Bunch that I just recorded. Because, you know, they do the mama first. And then they say there's a story. And then they get to that part. They were 4 men living all together. Yet they were all alone. Then this one day when this lady met this fella.
Wait a minute. Wait. Back up. Who were the 4 men?
Mike, Greg, Bobby, and Peter.
No, so then that means these were 4 children.
Yeah.
But the theme song
who lived with
men.
their father.
Yes.
So if we're counting the children as men, then it becomes 5. If we're counting the children as children, then it's 1. So
this dude is actually gonna
glad I got it right, but that is
I'm
going by the theme song, and he gonna nitpick at what.
No, this dude ain't nitpicking. That's obvious. A household of 8 people in the house with 1 income in that's well enough to not only house all these people and feed all these people. We got a maid.
Who wears the same?
These are white people in the 50s.
Mama don't work, so
these are white people in the 50s, dude. That was normal. They have inherited wealth. They have asset wealth. They got him working a really good job. There's so many ways you can do it. People do it now.
She sat at home and literally did nothing. She didn't cook.
Exactly.
She didn't do
Y'all
nothing.
don't understand how the other side live for real, man. Y'all gotta look into this. It's a whole world. It's a different world than where you come from.
And you put the theme song and you got it right. That's what I'm like, but you got it right.
I got a show for y'all, but go ahead, Tracy.
Okay, Marlon, you're next.
All right.
A group of people work in a department store. Each are single. Well, no, most of them are single. One is married. He always has to looking at other women's eyes. And the manager has ears that stick out. Am I talking about a real show or a fake show?
And the manager has what?
Ears that stick out.
That sounds like a real show.
Is that your final answer?
Oh yeah, I got one to burn.
Okay, it is a real show.
I knew it was a real show because she corrected the wording.
Yep, I sure did. I corrected the wording.
What's in a department?
The show was called, it's one of my favorites, Are You Being Served? It's a British comedy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You don't get Can't do that. You can't pull overseas bad TV.
Yes, all the time. I don't know where you talking.
That was on for years.
Downton Abbey, anything that's British humor or British television.
Where do you think Sanford and Son came from? Sanford and Son came from a British show.
But it wasn't successful till it was Sanford and Son.
It was very successful as
Not over here. Not over here.
Steptoe and Son was on for like 13 years. What are you talking about?
Here? I thought you said it was a British show.
Great Britain.
I was saying it wasn't successful here until it was Sanford and Son.
Until it was stolen.
They had to fix it. I just say, my old boy, we have some wonderful junk and trash around here. Chip, chip, pip, pip.
Steptoe and Son was a funny show. You gotta watch it. Funny.
I will not.
Oh, if it ain't Benny Hill, I ain't watching that. British.
Y'all just don't limit yourselves. Y'all missing a good show, and Are You Being Served?
Right. You can't miss what you never had.
Hey, I'm 50 years old. I can live.
Okay, Theus, you're next.
Uh-oh.
And listen to the words that I'm going to say carefully because it might trip you up. two cousins fight the system in a small town in Georgia. Is that real or is that fake?
See, I don't know where them Duke boys was from. Where them Duke boys from? Alabama.
I just gave you the state. I literally
I
just
know, but you said it might trip me up. So I'm thinking there's a Dukes of Hazzard, which would be a true state.
But I was tripping you up with the two cousins instead of three because there were technically three cousins.
So I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but I was trying to trip you up by saying two cousins. It was actually three.
And it was Georgia.
Yeah, and they lived, in Hazard County. They didn't actually live in a city, they lived in a county.
Well, out in the sticks, that's what they do. But I wasn't sure that they were Mississippi or they were Alabama because they really, they could play that bad boy either way,
But I think I said Georgia in the description of the show.
That's why I thought you were trying to trick me with Georgia.
I was tricking you up with the two cousins instead of three.
Oh, no, that wasn't gonna get me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that.
That wasn't gonna get
And
me.
the funny thing about it was, I know it was in Georgia because every time there was something happen, they always had to go to Macon.
Atlanta.
I never heard them ever go to Atlanta.
They went to
Atlanta. Heard they had to go to Macon.
I had to leave to go to Macon. Illegal record. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's all right, Tracy. Your entertainment and my entertainment did not match. I'm sitting here like, I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Dukes of Hazzard, and that's including all the years I would be down there during the summer in Alabama with my folk. I ain't never watched that.
I didn't watch hour-long shows. My attention span.
It was an hour long?
It was an hour long.
Wow, I didn't know they did shows that long back then.
Yeah, they were. And that Friday lineup, Dukes of Hazzard, Incredible Hulk, that was it. I
know like Dallas, Falcon Crest, those were hour long. Like those are considered like your evening semi-movie TV shows, right? Your docudrama type of joints. They would get an hour. And then everything that was like family TV was like a half-hour show. It's only like later that we started getting like everything was almost an hour.
Yeah.
No, Dukes of Hazzard was definitely an hour.
Hee-Haw was an hour.
Hee-Haw was also an hour.
Hey, y'all remember that show where everybody was from like the fantasy world? Like you had Snow White and she was living with
the Charming.
Prince Charming. Is that what that was?
The Charming.
Okay. I actually kind of watched that. It came on after Hee-Haw.
Yep, it was on ABC, and it would follow the adventures of Prince Charming and his wife, whatever her name was, but they were in the 80s. Yep, the 80s had some junk TV. Marlon, you are next. A girl can stop time by simply touching her two fingers together.
False? Well, not real, or how you want me to say it?
It's either real or fake. It's one or the other.
Fake.
You are incorrect. That show was called Out of This World. And the voice of the father was an alien. He married a human. They had a daughter. And her gift was, and she could stop time by doing this.
Okay, I remember that little thing. Okay, I don't remember the show, but I remember. Because I remember Out of This World as a TV show. I remember that.
Burt Reynolds was the voice of the father. So now you both have one that's wrong.
I was looking at somebody just doing this.
But you didn't think like this. I said
nobody ever doing that. So, okay, well, whatever.
Okay, last one goes to, well, no, I'll do two more. This. A group of evil robots. This is animation. A group of evil robots hold a town for hostage, and another group that are robotic cows must stop them.
Did you say robotic cows?
I said robotic cows.
Like bovines?
I said robotic cows.
That would make you more understanding about what she's saying.
Because I thought she said robotic pals. So I was sitting here on some, well, that's
I said cows. COWS, cows.
Animation with robot cows. I'm gonna go with false because I don't know no
You
cartoon
are
with robot
correct
cows.
that it's a completely made up show.
Oh, okay. I was like, I watched a lot of cartoons. I don't remember no robot
I
cows.
was really trying to put my head together, going, why would they build robot cows?
To be sneaky.
I see
Okay,
one cow.
Marlin, also animation.
Okay.
Vehicles turn into large robots. There are two sets. There is the good guys and the bad guys. And on the good side, one of them turns into a tall robot, but he's actually a semi truck. And on the bad side, the evil robot turns into a shotgun. Is that real or is it fake?
I got a better question. Is that question real or fake?
Now answer the question, Marlon.
Answer the question.
First of all, one little snippet. The bad guys wasn't cars; they were planes, and it's the Transformers.
You're wrong, sir.
Now, if you want to switch it around,
you're wrong, sir.
Robots,
you're wrong, sir.
What you talking about?
That was actually correct. That was
no,
true.
it's not. I'm gonna tell you why it's not.
The Decepticons were planes and a gun.
The Decepticons were just like Transformers. They could be any number of things. They had cars, they had trucks, they had SUVs.
But I said the leader of the bad guys could turn into a gun.
You said shotgun.
I did say shotgun.
And that makes it false. Because
gun.
Megatron turned into a pistol, and then later when he became Galvatron, he turned into a cannon. No time was he a shotgun.
He got you on the technical, Marlon. He's got you on the technical. Okay. Okay. He is. We're gonna give you. No, you haven't won just yet. There's two more to go.
No, you just said there were two questions, and you asked two questions.
No, I said two more. You got to. You got one.
I only lost one. How do you figure you won?
You just lost two.
I did not lose that one. I called the show and everything. Transformers.
That was wrong, though.
He's saying he calling it a rifle. I said a shotgun, and that's technically the wrong answer. He was never a shotgun.
It's very much the wrong answer. He was a pistol.
And I should have said pistol. But I'm going to give it to Marlon because that was my mess up.
Okay.
That was my mess up. So I'm going to give that to Marlon.
How about lose a game on a shotgun compared to a gun? He turned into a gun.
Are you telling me that a pistol and a shotgun are anywhere close to each other?
Are you going to tell me that a car can turn into a robot? We're talking about a cartoon.
Yes, and if you're going to talk about the cartoon, one of the greatest cartoons in history, you got to get it right.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
So, Marlon, you going to take away the point I just gave you?
No, heck no.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure because that was my fault. Okay. This is, you better get this. You better get this. A group of teenagers, along with their trusty dog, solve mysteries.
So there's a dog, then it's going to be Scooby-Doo. Because if you had said a shark, then that'd be Jabberjaw.
Oh, yeah, they did have a lot of shows.
Yeah, then if you said a car, it would have been Speed Buggy.
You're right. I forgot about Speed Buggy. I like Speed Buggy.
But they were all basically the same.
Because Hanna-Barbera
they had
genius.
No originality. I'm like, y'all.
No, they were genius. They held down the cartoon game for like 50 years, and they just kept flipping the characters.
It's the same characters. That one guy looked just like Freddy. I'm like, that's Freddy.
I watched a special about what happened to Hanna-Barbera. Like, it's on YouTube. It's actually pretty good the way they break it down and everything, and how they lost to other like Warner Brothers and stuff. But it was cool.
Jonny Quest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because
that was one of the best cartoons.
Never watched it.
Jonny Quest.
Ew, I hated that.
I love that show.
The animation sucked. The story sucked. It was terrible.
The original Jonny Quest, not that one they brought back. I don't know what that was.
That was terrible.
So Marlon, here is one. A group. Well, no, you'll get that one. Never mind. I'm gonna scrap that one. A woman who's not qualified suddenly becomes sheriff of a small town after her husband dies. Is that show real or is
That's
that
a
fake?
real show. I talked about that actually the other day. I don't
Yeah,
even
we
know
talked
why.
about it here recently.
She's the sheriff.
That's exactly right.
Suzanne Summers. I ain't gonna go no further than that because I can't remember the town. I can't remember the people.
And Theus, the last question goes to Theus. A group of 3 friends live in Los Angeles and they always hang out at a specific place that serves hamburgers with a salty waitress.
Oh, that's that one with Rerun. It's a real show. It was the one with Rerun and Roger and them.
And them.
Oh, come on. You
I can't remember the name of the show, but I know it's a real show.
They actually brought the show back.
Yep, and that was terrible. They should have never brought it back.
The funny thing about it is,
What's happening? Is that what it was?
Yep, that's what it's called.
Okay.
And on What's Happening Now,
Martin Lawrence was on it.
Martin Lawrence was on What's Happening Now.
Oh,
without his mustache, and he looked totally like, "Ooh, grow your mustache."
I didn't realize they are. Yeah. So Martin Lawrence was grown when they tried to bring it back.
No, it
was all grown up.
Is it more recent or something?
No,
it was like maybe 6 years after the show got canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's back then. Okay.
The mama died, left the house to Rod.
I didn't know.
No, she was still alive at that point. They said she moved to Arizona.
Oh, I thought she was dead.
Yeah, I didn't know Martin.
I think she died in real life, but the way they explained it into the show was she sold them the house on the condition that Rod would give her a grandchild.
Dee became a veterinarian.
Yep, but she is actually in real life.
Rerun runs a used car dealership.
Yep. Shirley is still the waitress at Rob's place, but now Roger and Shirley co-own the restaurant because Roger is an aspiring screenwriter.
And they have a daughter.
Yep, and that daughter was Regina King's sister, Raina. I forget what she played on the show.
Wait, Roger and the waitress had
Roger and his wife.
Oh.
What? She was on The Heat of the Night.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Ray Dawn Chong or whatever her name is.
No, that's not Ray
Dawn. Nadine.
I know you're talking about. It's the tall, skinny, really pale lady. Yeah, I know you're talking about. She was in everything back then.
Johnson or something like that.
She was in everything.
Anna Marie Johnson.
And she didn't age for like 30 years. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yep, she was also when I'm a sucker. She was the one who said, "Don't make me hop after you."
Yeah, the leg lady, and the hair, and the butt,
and the eyelashes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that movie was so ahead of its time because the only thing different now is the leg. That's it.
Yeah, that is kind of funny that the leg is the only thing.
That's only
the eyes, the lashes, the fingernails, the butt.
So that lets you know this has been going on for a long time.
Okay, I got a show for y'all.
Okay, so now they're reversing it. Okay.
Yeah. So a black man in Southern Town gets hired to drive this white woman around, and they have to find a way to coexist.
That's real. It's Driving Miss Daisy.
But that wasn't a TV show. That was a movie.
No, it was a TV show.
They made it a show too?
They made it a one-episode show.
Yes.
And canceled it the same day.
Yeah, I don't see how you got much of a market for that one, buddy.
Yeah, I'm like, nope.
It didn't go well. No.
That's like trying to make A Time to Kill a TV series. That ain't gonna happen, bro. You ain't getting no laughs out of this one. He did.
Well, they also tried to make no, they actually did make it. Oh, what's the name of the movie?
Iron
Blazing
Lung. They
Saddles?
tried
That
to
didn't go
make
nowhere.
a TV show. They
What was the
tried.
name of that show with the black sheriff? The movie.
The Blazing Saddles movie. They made a
Yeah,
TV show for it. Yeah,
they made a TV show for it.
and it went nowhere.
It wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, they made that thing terrible on purpose.
Hey, a contract is a contract.
Got that right. Give me my check.
Well, you wouldn't say that. That's actually the.
Yeah,
studio.
they were trying to get him to sell the rights, and he said, "Oh yeah, you can make it a TV show." And then they
Yeah.
said, "Okay, sign."
And they made a TV show.
And they made a TV show. Didn't say how long it had to last. He just
No,
said,
that's dirty.
The flip part of it, Tracy, was he said, if you can make a TV show out of this, I'll sell you the rights.
"Yep,
They made a TV show out of it. They never said we had to air it.
yep."
So
They
they never
did.
aired the movie. They never aired the show.
And guess what he had to do? Sell them rights.
And guess who the sheriff was in it?
Oh, it was Lou Gossett Jr., wasn't it?
Yep. Lou Gossett Jr. was the sheriff. It would never have worked.
Well, he was a good actor, but he's too serious.
You know what? If they had not stuck to the movie and kind of did like little plots.
Yeah, if they had tried to make it more of a real show with more serious moments, Lou Gossett Jr. would have been perfect.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
But can you see Lou Gossett Jr. in Blazing Saddles?
Not the movie, no.
An adaptation, yeah, but it's in the movie, no. Can't nobody do what Cleavon did. It was Cleavon Little, right?
Yeah, Cleavon Little.
That was a good movie.
And boy, the PC people, boy, if political correctness, you get mad, you gonna really get mad at that movie.
I forgot what's the name of the guy who does those? Because he did Spaceballs, he did that.
Mel Brooks,
right? He's like 96 years old now, but I like that dude because he really pushed the envelope all the way through his career, like all the way to force America through laughter to look at itself. He was really good at that.
He was really good at it. End of the world.
Good to be the king. The history of the world. That's what. All right. Airplane.
Wait a minute. I don't think he did Airplane.
He did do Airplane, didn't he?
I thought
he did Airplane. I think that was something Brothers.
That was Zuckerberg and Zuckerman and somebody else.
Oh, okay. But
that was a good movie.
Spaceballs is like the gym.
See what you're talking when you say Airplane. Now we on that whole other genre of Airplane and the Naked Gun movies, and
they were spoof movies. They were
what was Charlie Sheen did a couple of them.
You talking about I know now the way it started off with the Wayans brothers.
No, they didn't start it. They just did it for the rest of us. Because they did
no, the first two movies had the Wayans brothers because it was their movie. I know what you did last
Scream movies.
Yeah, but it wasn't called Scream because they were picking on Scream.
Yeah,
they were picking on I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. Scary Movie.
Yeah, Scary
First
Movie.
That's it.
And then it went to Charlie Sheen and he did some other stuff. But he had the other one. Remember that spoof that he did on Rambo?
Yeah, that's what I said. Something because he made a second movie, and I remember it was part Deuce, and I couldn't remember. I can't remember.
Hot Shot.
Hot Shot. It was Hot Shot.
Yeah, that was fun in its time.
Part Deuce. Yeah, that was.
And I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is a spoof movie.
That's an amazing movie. Hollywood Shuffle, amazing movie.
I don't know about Hollywood Shuffle.
What was the other one the Wayans brothers made? Don't Be a Menace.
Don't Be a Menace.
Don't Be a Menace in South Central. Drinking your juice in the hood. That one was hilarious, and it's an instant classic, but it was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad, but it was like, what am I
was bad.
It's terrible.
It was bad. Some movies are like that. Like, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Funny from start to finish.
Real funny, like the first 2-3 times you watch it, and then you have to like leave it on the shelf for some years before you watch it again, because then you start picking out like, that wasn't as funny as I thought that
Oh,
was.
it
It
was
was hilarious because they were piecing together to make that happen. But you're right. Those type of movies, you don't watch them on repeat. You know,
I have watched I'm Gonna Get You Sucker on repeat several times.
Like Airplane is like that. Airplane
Yeah,
is a
and
funny
as a
movie.
matter of fact, I think I have this DVD of it twice because I wore up my last copy, so I'm like, okay, I get.
but it's a great movie, really great movie. But that's when you listen to some of the stuff you guys share, like with Martin being on What's Happening Now and stuff like that. You realize, and this happens with other like with white actors too, but definitely with black actors, you get the same group of people who manage to get work, and they just recycle themselves for 30 years. Because I wouldn't even have thought about Martin doing. The first time Martin crossed my radar was as a comedian.
Yes, on Def Jam.
Yeah, so he was a comedian to me first, and then he became an actor. But that's just like people didn't realize that Tupac was a hype man before he became his own thing. They just remember Tupac talking about Brenda having a baby, but they don't remember that he was part of the Digital Underground. So, that Dr. Dre was on the World Class Wrecking Crew doing 80s music. So, it's pretty neat when you look at the story.
Or that Denzel Washington was on St. Elsewhere. I be arguing people. I'm like, yes, he was on there. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. Him, Howie Mandel was on that show.
Yeah. I was talking to these young guys I work with, and I was telling them, they were talking about how much they enjoy Adam Sandler. And I'm like, I don't really like his serious work, but that's my fault because I've been watching him since The Cosby Show.
Thank you.
It's hard for me to watch some of his other stuff, because he's always been that cheesy actor. And even when he does his serious stuff, I still hear him, so it's hard for me to give him that.
And Alicia Keys was on The Cosby Show.
Everybody was on The Cosby Show.
Everybody was on The Cosby Show.
He made sure everybody had a shot, So
Jerry Seinfeld was on Benson.
Yep, sure was. You know how many few people don't realize that Jerry Seinfeld was on Benson? I'm like, yes, he was. He was right there.
He was only like 2 or 3 times. And the funny thing about it is, what did he play on Benson?
A comic.
A comedian.
Well, he's not a very he doesn't have a lot of range. I mean, Jerry's Jerry, right? You watch Jerry because you like Jerry.
His real name. You know his real name?
No, I just know he goes by Jerry Seinfeld.
He is Jerome Seinfeld.
Oh, he better go with Jerry because ain't nobody hiring no Jewish man named Jerome.
Go with Jerry. You ain't gonna make it as Jerome.
No, they ain't gonna happen.
That's his name.
With the name Jerome.
No, that's like Tracy Ellis Ross. She didn't use her daddy name. She ain't use her daddy name.
And by the way, you want to really confuse somebody? Jerome Seinfeld. You don't confuse like.
Yeah, you expected me to show up.
Yeah, you expecting a black person.
You expected me to show up.
So I don't hear no more jokes about only black men are named Jerome. Nope. Jerome Seinfeld. Nope. Nope.
It don't matter. He don't get to own that just because that's his name.
That's his name. Of course.
I know, but I'm just saying he don't get to own it. Like now that overwrites the fact that Jerome is overwhelmingly a black name.
You changed the name.
Congratulations.
I'm just saying
there's black people named Amy, but the name's still white. I mean, it's just it's cultural names.
And everybody with that, remember the email suggestions for this game night. We had a lot of fun playing Is the Show Fake or Real? I gave y'all a whole bunch of real shows because I thought there's no way they're gonna know these shows.
Who won?
Marlon won.
Yeah, whatever. Only because we gave him that extra glory point.
Keep racking them up.
You're not going to talk about the 4-0 thing again, are you? Please don't talk about that.
No, I ain't going to say 4-0. Because now I can say 5-0.
Oh my gosh! But
No,
then
you can't because you haven't won 5 games. You had a 4-0 because all 4 people agreed with you.
I
That's
count that
you.
as every separate game.
You now like 2 out of 5 or something now.
I just count every one of those questions as a separate game.
And to be last night's after party, me and Anna also agreed on our ranking. I'm like,
what was it? Anyway.
Favorite Scooby-Doo character.
Oh, Shaggy won, didn't he?
Shaggy.
Yep, Shaggy won. Oh, and Human, because we threw Scooby out. We was like, nope, he's a dog. Can't put him in there.
What? He had a speaking role.
But it's only do 4. So I'm like, oh, well, do the 4 humans.
Well, out of the 4 humans, what does she got? Because the next one's going to be Velma or Thelma, or whatever her right name is.
Velma was number 2. Daphne was number 3, and Fred was number 4.
Don't nobody like Fred. Ain't nobody like Fred.
Oh,
he was a little rich kid. He's a little rich kid who probably paid for everything.
Daphne was the one that was rich and spoiled. If you look at the cartoon, she was the one.
So was he. You know he sailed boats during the summer.
And then I went on my 20-minute rant about where the heck were their parents because they was just going all over.
They were rich. They were on family money. You know what? Another good show. And I just forgot it that quick. Never mind. Oh, it wasn't so much a show, even though it did have a show. But did y'all grow up reading Archie comics? I sure did. I liked them.
I hated that show. Oh my gosh, they was
the comic books. The Archie Digest.
Like the comics. I don't like the cartoons. I can't.
They didn't do a good job with the cartoon.
I don't like any of it. Like no.
That was my one little like ultra
my favorite
white
was
entertainment.
When they tried to make Archie Bunker a cartoon. That's when I thought, you know what, y'all just went to. It never happened, but it was
that's a stretch.
That's
a huge stretch.
Cartoon. I'm like, how y'all go? I know y'all trying to educate the children, but that's not. That's not the way that you want to do it.
It don't matter. They did the same thing to Happy Days. They did the same thing to Laverne
and Shirley. Happy Days, the cartoon was funny.
Huh?
And they would jump back and forth in time. I love the Happy Days cartoon and the Laverne and Shirley cartoon.
I don't know nothing about either one of them.
I Dream of Jeannie cartoon.
I just love I Dream of Jeannie. Man, if that was one beautiful woman, that was a beautiful woman right there. That was
living.
Huh?
She's still living.
Yeah, I don't find her attractive anymore.
Similar. I mean, she looks similar. She looks similar to what she looked. Obviously, she's aged a bit, but she aged really well.
That's great for her. But what I'm saying is, I don't find her attractive anymore. So I'm saying that was a beautiful woman.
And Samantha on Bewitched, wasn't it?
She was all right.
Who was the Harper Valley PTA?
The what?
Harper Valley PTA.
Wasn't that I Dream of Jeannie?
No, I Dream of Jeannie was a Bewitched ripoff.
I Dream of Jeannie was the genie in the bottle from NASA.
The woman that played I Dream of Jeannie. Did she do Harper Valley PTA?
Julianne Andrews? What that her name?
No, Barbara Eden was.
Barbara Eden, that's right.
Okay, did she do Harper Valley?
She may have.
I don't know.
Hold on.
And of course, we're looking this up on the internet as we are speaking.
Hey, the game over.
Yeah, the game is over.
Harper Valley PT. Yep, Barbara Eden. It was a movie.
And what was the name of the guy that found her in I Dream of Jeannie? Now we know it was Larry Hagman.
That was Captain Nelson.
But what was his first name?
Major Nelson. He was Major Nelson. That's right.
Major Roger?
Tony Nelson.
No, Roger was the buddy.
Yeah, Roger was the buddy that knew that Jeannie was a genie.
So what was Nelson?
And then Tony Nelson.
Tony, yeah.
Who I call Undercover J.R. Ewing.
And by the end of the show, who did not know Jeannie was a genie?
Yeah, everybody knew. I'm like, what are they?
By the end of the show, everybody knew.
Everybody figured out that people were witches.
No, they never did figure out because Samantha would at least fool them a little bit.
No, I think the neighbors never did find out.
Yeah, they thought they saw something, but then the husband would never believe Mrs. Kravitz. She'd be like, but she.
That was always the story, right? Because like with Three's Company, it took a long time for it was like the wife would know, but the husband had to pretend like he was stupid all the way. And it's a great formula. It works. It works.
I can tell you exactly why I stopped watching Three's Company. Because
When
after a
Chrissy
while,
went,
no, because it was still kind of funny. But the fact of the matter is, it was a show on misunderstanding. And that's how they built the whole episode.
show.
Was something happened, somebody misunderstand, then you would say stuff.
But that was fun.
Say stuff, but it was taken out of context.
And then John Ritter would fall over something.
Well, he did physical comedy. That was his thing.
Yeah, that was his thing.
That was his thing. But every episode you follow it, man, you better get checked out. He did
physical comedy, and it was formula comedy. That's what they did.
And how many shows came from Three's Company?
I don't know.
Three's a Crowd and the Ropers. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that one. And they had another spinoff where Jack and the airline stewardess, they lived in an apartment, but I forgot what that one was called.
You know, everybody liked Chrissy, but I like Janet.
Yeah, I'm more of a Janet fan.
Ooh, she was on.
I think Marlon has left us and is coming back.
I'm working on something real quick.
Oh, he's working on something.
Well, we'll just finish up, man. It's like,
yeah, we gonna be.
Been on here for an hour.
It sounds like this is going longer than I thought.
It's so inconsiderate, Tracy. You know that he did
like
that.
We're not even here. Like we do your show. I know him.
Okay.
It's your show.
I know.
He did that to you.
Like you don't say that.
Y'all are the rudest people.
No, you the rudest.
Oh, we rude? Were we interrupting you, sir?
I was taking care of a family matter that was really important.
But I'm saying, were we interrupting you, sir?
I was taking care of a family matter.
How dare I, on a show that I created, have anything to say about guests just disappearing?
He just yawned. You didn't say that to him.
I yawned. This is a human reaction.
And I didn't even see his yawn to be.
I don't remember yawning. I do it a lot. So
audience. We gonna end this broadcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it, cast. Please tell us where we can find you.
Please come check me out at complexsimpleman.com. Thank you.
And support his Patreon. Marlon.
No, Will.
Okay, so that leaves me to speak. And I'll just put Marlon on mute. So thank you for joining us for Game Week. It's been a hilarious night. I tried to fool them, but they knew a little bit more TV shows than I thought, but I'm going to get them next week. There's no way they'll get next week right. That was easy on them. But remember, you can find me on Tracy Media LLC, all platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Patreon. Support me there. We'll see you next week. Have a fantastic evening.